RepairableVehicles.com, Tri-State Late Models' first ever appearance here at the Off Road Speedway, and the first car that will come onto the Speedway and start the clock. This driver out of Omaha, Nebraska, the Jebro Muddy River Logistics Fast Solution Sidemasters 99. That's Travis Polson. Also coming onto the Speedway from Hoskins, Nebraska, the Strong Trucking 2T Trucking SWO Sheet Metal and Fabrication. Number 3 of Doug Tomka, and then number 26, Troy Banky, the Ewing, Nebraska driver, Masterbuilt, Last Chance Dairy, Automotive Dairy Specialist, car number 26. Lap number 1 will come into the books for the 99 of Paulson. It's a 15.338, 15.338. Lap time number 1 for Doug Tomka, better 14.736. So Tomka in the 3 car goes to the top of the charts, and the 26 of Banky a little tight there off of turn number 4. He goes at 16.170. Paulson stays second quick, 15.338 on lap number 2. Tomka 14.756. So he slows a touch on his second lap, and Banky looking to improve here at the 26 machine on his second effort, and it will be 16.170 for his official time. So Doug Tomka, top of the charts right now, 14.736. Flight number 2 coming out of the track for Group A qualifying, and it will include the number 62 machine. Out of Malvern, Iowa, the Zeitner & Sons, DJ's Dugout, Tree Services of Omaha, 62 of Justin Zeitner. Also on the Speedway is Jim Johnson, the Plainview, Nebraska driver, the Johnson Repair, Hennings family, Frontier Insurance, number 36, and Ben Sukup, the Norfolk, Nebraska driver of the Power Sports Nation, Southside Salvage Quality Siding and Roofing, car number 07. The 62 machine into the books, and Justin Zeitner, quick time, 14.375. Lap number 1 for Johnson, third quick, 14.799. And for Sukup, second quick, 14.701. Zeitner, lap number 2, quicker, 14.250. 14 and a quarter for him. Jim Johnson now second quick in this flight, 14.661. And for Sukup, he'll be third quick, 14.701 will be his official time, 14.785 on lap 2. So now Justin Zeitner to the top of the chart. The 62 machine, 14.250. Jim Johnson, 14.662. Ben Sukup, 14.701, your top 3. On the track now from Norfolk, the Signor Trucking SS Graphics, Window World, number 04, Tad Pospisil. Also from Rock Rapids, Iowa, it's Rowdy, Nate Bienhoff behind the wheel of the American Truck Store, Bienhoff Estates, Frontier Bank, number 51, and Hurricane, Lane Brendan out of Mitchell, South Dakota, the Ponderosa, Electric Construction, Allen Edge Real Estate, number 8. Lap number 1 into the books for the 04 Pospisil, quick time, 14.212. Nate Bienhoff, 14.251. And Lane Brendan, 14.347. 14.347. Now quicker into the 13s for the 04 of Pospisil. 13.970. Bienhoff, 14.251. And Lane Brendan goes quicker, 14.222, but quickest thus far, only car in the 13s, the 04 of Tad Pospisil. So Pospisil on top of the charts now. As the next group onto the racetrack from Watertown, South Dakota, the I-29 Fuels, Candy's Adults Gift, Engels Trucking, number 1. That's Ryan Engels. Ryan Engels in the 1. The 71 of Mike Benson out of Wakefield, Nebraska, the Pierce Family Racing, Dr. Allison Benson, Heinz Farms is 71. And the number 7J behind the wheel tonight, that's Chris Johnson, the Bloomfield, Nebraska driver, the Swartz Race Cars, Husker Siding, Johnson Repair, CHS entry of Chris Johnson. Lap number 1 for the 1 of Engels is a 14.850, 15.032 for Mike Benson. And Johnson now quickest out of this set of 3, 14.697, 14.697 for Johnson. Back up to the top of for this group, Ryan Engels with a 14.647. Benson no improvement on lap 2. And Johnson now to the top out of this group, 14.263, 14.263 for the 7J of Chris Johnson. So I see all 12 entries down there getting set, and they'll head on to the Speedway. Cars up to speed now as we begin Group B qualifications. Ooh, Brad Vogt way up the hill there in turn number 1. Lap time coming in for Nelson Volbrecht. It will be a 14.760 for Brad Vogt. His opening lap, a 15.705. And Zach Zeitner, 14.320, 14.320, the mark to beat here in Group B. Volbrecht will go 14.604, so a little better there on his second lap. Brad Vogt will check in and improve to a 15.700, and Zach Zeitner, quick time out of this group, 14.320. He went 14.480 on his second lap, but right now, quick time out of Group B belongs to the Z76 of Zach Zeitner, 14.320. Onto the track next from Brandon, South Dakota, the Band-Aid Ranch Precision Drywall, number 22. That's Gary Brown Jr. Also onto the track, the number 10 of Junior Coover, the Norfolk, Nebraska driver of the National Auto Sales, Quality Siding and Roofing, number 10. And also coming up to speed from Norfolk, the Blind Auto, Stanton State Bank, Osborne Motors, number 35 of Robert Osborne. So cars coming up to speed, and so lap number 1 will go into the books here for the 22 of Brown. Second quick, 14.464. Coover, 14.866. And for the 35 of Johnson, a 14.480. Third quick out of this group. Brown on his second lap, 14.415. A bit quicker, still second quick. Coover, 14.866. And for the 35 of Osborne, he'll put his second lap in at a 14.822. No improvement there for him. So still Zach Zeitner, 14.320. Quick time, 14.415 for Gary Brown Jr. second quick. And Robert Osborne, third quick, 14.480. Cars coming onto the track now. The 14 Chase Osborne, Norfolk, Nebraska, the MP Global No Worries Insurance Osborne Motors entry. Also on the track, defending series champion Snowdrift, Blair Nordorf out of Renner, South Dakota, the Bargain Barn Tire Center, Grandpa's Benz Ranch Asphalt Pros, number 76. And the number 5K, Kyle Prauner out of Norfolk, the Dr. Nate Stender, Dietz Well and Pump, Norfolk Auto Center, number 5K. Osborne, 14.886. That's sixth quick here in Group B. Quick time! Blair Nordorf, 14.298. 1.4298. Blair Nordorf to the top of the charts here in Group B. And Prauner, 14.962. Lap number 2 slows for Chase Osborne. He'll take his 14.884. Lap number 2 for Nordorf slows as well, 14.447. He'll take his 14.298. And for Prauner, 14.944. So he will now be 8th quick. But to the top of the charts out of that group, that's the 76 of Blair Nordorf, now the quickest car in Group B qualifications, 14.298. Then Zeitner and Brown remain in your top 3. On the track now from Hoskins, Nebraska, the Strong Trucking, 2T Trucking, SWO Sheet Metal and Fabricating. And number 9, that's Eric Van Osdal. Eric Van Osdal in the 9. Also up to speed from Norfolk, Nebraska, the Southside Salvage, Outback Motorsports TMS International 2X, that's Joey Haase. Joey Haase in the 2X. And from Hendricks, Minnesota, the Olson Custom Farms, Kibble Equipment, Hendricks Farmers Lumber, number 10C of Chad Olson. First lap into the books for the 9 of Van Osdal, 6th quick, 14.774. For the 2X of Haase, a 15.246. And lap number 1 for the 10C of Olson is 5th quick, 14.549. 14.549 for Chad Olson. Van Osdal will slow on lap number 2, so he'll take the 14.774. Haase loose off of turn 4. He'll slow on his second lap as well. And for Chad Olson, he'll pick up some time. He's now 5th quick at 14.531. 14.531 for the 10C of Chad Olson. So it's still Blair Nordorf, Zach Zeitner, Gary Brown Jr., the top 3 out of this group. Osborne, as in Robert, Chad Olson, Nelson Volbrecht, top 6. Van Osdal, Coover, Chase Osborne, top 9. Prauner, Haase, and Brad Vogt, your group of 12 from Group B qualifications here tonight for the RepairableVehicles.com Tri-State Late Model Series. Those drivers will head off of the racetrack. We'll get the lineups calculated for our qualifying heat races coming up in just a bit. Again, they will be 8 laps in distance, 4 qualifying heat races. Top 4 out of those heats make tonight's main event for the RepairableVehicles.com Tri-State Late Models. Top 4 to the A main here tonight. Outside of the top 4, they will have to come through a last chance qualifier to make the $1,500 win Clash Championship feature event here at the Off Road Speedway. For the first time ever, the RepairableVehicles.com Tri-State Late Models ready for the green flag in turn 4 here at the Off Road Speedway. And track officials immediately not satisfied with the way that one broke formation, and we will see the caution lights come on around the speedway. And drivers being told via the one-way communication system that front row needs to bring it together to the green flag. They'll try it right here, right now, once again. Green lights on this time, and it is Tad Pospisil out to the race lead. He has the 62 of Justin Zeitner right there in that final redraw spot, and then comes the 7J of Chris Johnson. Jim Johnson right now 1 lap in, 7 laps to go, has the 4th and final transfer spot to the dance here tonight. Tomka and Polson right now out of transfer positions. Again, 8 laps the distance on our heat races here tonight, and we will put the 2nd lap in the books. Now 6 to go, and the 0-4 of Pospisil laying it down in this one as he is out to about a 4-car length lead over the 62 of Justin Zeitner. Chris Johnson, Jim Johnson continue to run 3rd and 4th. Tomka really going to have to get up on the wheel if he wants to put the strong trucking number 3 into the show here, as he has lost about 7 car lengths behind that car riding in the 4th and final transfer spot. Beautiful racetrack here tonight. Track looking very, very good. Last lap for the 0-4 of Pospisil. Fast, 14.113. So the car's laying it down around the speedway very, very quick here in our heat race, now down to a 14.0 on that last lap for the 0-4 of Pospisil. And so he is pulling away from the 62 of Justin Zeitner, and now just 2 laps to go on our Peterbilt of Sioux Falls heat race. Up in smoke, the 99 Travis Polson, a bunch of smoke showing from the Gembro number 99. He will go pit side. We remain green. In fact, we will see the white flag as the 0-4 of Pospisil brings us to the white. And a whole bunch of smoke where Travis Polson has stopped here on the front straightaway. We'll finish this one out as it looks as the smoke show continues. Checkered flag out. Tad Pospisil wins our opening heat race. Brought to us by Peterbilt of Sioux Falls. Zeitner going to go 2nd. Jim Johnson will go 4th, with Chris Johnson in the 3rd spot. So our first heat race of the night into the books for the Peterbilt of Sioux Falls heat race, and it is all the 0-4 of Tad Pospisil. He picks up the win, 1.7 seconds ahead of the 62 of Justin Zeitner in 2nd. Chris Johnson was 3rd, and Jim Johnson to the show here. He finishes 4th. Doug Tomka was 5th. Travis Polson will be credited with that 6th spot in the 99, and a whole bunch of smoke off of that machine here on the front straightaway. Of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, for all of your concrete needs, quality is their specialty. That's E&A Concrete bringing us heat race number 2 of the RepairableVehicles.com Tri-State Late Models. Top 2 make a redraw. Top 4 to the A main. 8 laps the distance. Green flag set to fly. Look at Sukup trying to power move around that front row. Brandon goes to the inside. Here comes Sukup around his outside looking for the 2nd spot as Nate Bienhoff leads him down the back straightaway up to speed for the first time. Bienhoff goes up the hill. We're 3 wide for the race lead momentarily. Bienhoff powers away. Brandon holds that 2nd spot in the 8 machine. Brandon and Sukup race for 2nd. Sukup has the advantage now as a battle going on for the 4th and final transfer spot between the 71 of Mike Benson and the 1 of Ryan Ingalls. Right now, the advantage in that tussle goes to the 71 of Mike Benson. Benson will head it back down into turn number 1. Ryan Ingalls trying to get up on the wheel and chase him back down. Nebraska versus South Dakota for that transfer spot. Engel's going to look to the inside and cannot get the run on the Nebraska drivers that come off turn number 4. Laps ticking away down to 5 laps to go here in our E&A Concrete heat race number 2. It is Nate Bienhoff continuing to lead on this one. The advantage last time, 1.1 second. This time by the stripe, it is down to 0.8 of a second. So the 0-7 of Ben Sukup quicker by just about 0.3 of a second on that circuit. Lane Brennan continues to hold a transfer spot, but the 4th position back up for grabs Benson powers back around the outside of Engels and continues to hold on to the transfer spot. Engels back to the inside of Benson as the field makes the way to 2 laps to go. It is still Rowdy Bienhoff showing the way in the 51. His lead at 0.6 of a second over the Power Sports Nation 07 of Ben Suka. They'll enter turn number 3. They'll come off turn number 4. Suka, big drive on the bottom, trying to pull up to your race leader as they see the white flag. By the way, Benson continues to hold the final transfer spot by 2 car lengths over Ryan Engels. Final time down the back straightaway. The 51 of Nate Bienhoff sails it into turn 3. On the top to the bottom goes the 07 of Sukup, and Bienhoff will come around and take the checkered flag in our E&A Concrete Heat Race number 2. To the line for the transfer spot. Engels nearly got there, but it is the 71 of Benson holding on for it. So E&A Concrete Heat Race number 2 goes into the books, and your winner, the 51 of Nate Bienhoff. Give the Rock Rapids, Iowa driver a hand. A valiant effort for Ben Sukup. The 07 goes second. Lane Brendan goes third in the 8 machine. And a great battle for the final transfer spot. Mike Benson gets that position in the 71. Ryan Engels was 5th. And the 26 of Troy Binke finishes in the 6th position. Third row on the inside lines up the number 14 of Chase Osborne. That's the MP Global No Worries Insurance entry out of Norfolk, Nebraska. And the 6th starter, also from Norfolk, the Southside Salvage Outback Motorsports number 2X of Joey Haase. 6 cars, 8 laps, top 4 to the show. Top 2 make the redraw. Outside of the top 4, they go to consolation action. This is the Burt Sports Bar and Grill of Beersford, South Dakota Heat Race number 3. Good start for the 2 drivers that have claimed series championships now. Gary Brown Jr. around the outside. He'll have the lead. Nordorf runs second. Here comes Chad Olson, the farmer out of Hendricks, Minnesota, up to the 3rd spot. Osborne to the inside. He'll have the final transfer spot as Joey Haase takes the scenic route off turn 4 and continues on. Now the 9 of Van Osdal. He will have the final transfer spot as they send into turn number 3. Groove widening out beautifully here tonight at the Off Road Speedway as Gary Brown Jr. leads by about a half second over the 76 of Blair Nordorf. Nordorf champion in 2020 with the RepairableVehicles.com Tri-State Late Model Series. In 2019 and 2018, the title went to the driver who is right in front of him, the 22 of Gary Brown Jr. They are the drivers who have claimed the championships in the 3-point seasons held by the RepairableVehicles.com Tri-State Late Models in our young history. The 10C of Chad Olson, he is trying to reel in that 76 of Nordorf and is moving. He is about a 10th quicker that last lap than Nordorf as they continue down the back straightaway. The 2X of Haase goes pit side and may stay there. May decide to come back out. Better lap that time for Nordorf. He was able to pull a couple car lengths from the 10C of Olson. In fact, now out to about 0.9 of a second between those 2 drivers. Brown going to enter the bottom of 3, drift it up to the top of 4. He'll look at the flag stand, sees the signal, 2 laps to go. And heat race number 3 brought to us by Burt's Sports Bar and Grill. Nordorf getting a little bit closer, but getting close and passing. Going to be 2 different stories here as time starting to run short. Brown, white flag in the air. Final time around for the 2-time series champion. Backstretch for the final time. We'll see if Nordorf has anything for him. Down to the bottom, locking up the brakes. Left front tire come to a stop there for Brown. And off of turn number 4, no stopping him on this one. He will take the checker flag with Nordorf, Olson, and the 9 of Van Osdal going to the show. So there's the checkered flag, and it's Gary Brown Jr., the 22 machine, by 0.4 of a second over Blair Nordorf in the 2nd spot. Chad Olson finishes 3rd in the 10C, and the 9 of Eric Van Osdal was 4th. They make tonight's A main. The 14 of Chase Osborne was 5th, and the 2X of Joey Haase finishes in 6th. Those drivers will head to tonight's Printing Plus B main. From Norfolk, the National Auto Sales Quality Siding and Roofing, car number 10 of Junior Coover. 3rd and final row has Kyle Prauner on the inside, the Norfolk, Nebraska driver of the Dr. Nate Stender 5K. Final starter is the 11 of Brad Vogt from Pierce in the Vogt Repair entry. 6 cars, 8 laps, final heat race is underway. Zeitner going to lead, but here comes that 35 to the bottom. Robert Osborne trying to get the drive, cannot get the grip he needed. Battle for that final transfer spot. Volbrecht through the middle. On the bottom of the racetrack goes Kyle Prauner. They'll stay side by side as they race back to turn number 1. A little tickle of the flag down there on the bottom. Not playing capture the flag here, but right now that 5K of Prauner has the final transfer spot. Coover 1 spot out looking in. 2 laps in, and it is all the Z76 of Zach Zeitner up to a 9/10 of a second lead. Robert Osborne trying to chase him back down, running comfortably in a redraw spot, though, with Nelson Volbrecht and Kyle Prauner continuing in the transfer spots. Junior Coover a little loose into turn number 3, got the Flying Wing 10 car all sorts of sideways right in front of the 11 of Brad Vogt. They both continue on, but they're starting to lose touch with the top 4 transfer drivers. Prauner going to go to the bottom, trying to reel in the 11K of, or the 11X of Volbrecht as they went to turn 3. Now down in turn number 1. They'll follow in each other's tire tracks down there. Beautiful groove all the way around the racetrack. Cannot wait for feature action here at the Off Road Speedway. If you've never been here, come on down for a weekly show. I'm serious. This place is awesome. Zach Zeitner out in front by 1.02 seconds over Robert Osborne. Nelson Volbrecht, Kyle Prauner in the transfer spots. 2 laps to go on the SS Graphics qualifying heat race number 4, the repairablevehicles.com Tri-State Late Models. Zeitner hooked up and hauling in that 76 machine off of turn 4. He'll see the white flag. Final lap. As we talk about Zeitner looking good, Robert Osborne has figured something out. He has cut the lead down in half, down to a half of a second. Can he get there in the final set of turns? Looks like the answer to that is going to be no. Zach Zeitner off of the final corner. He'll take the checkered flag. Robert Osborne right there, though, at the checkered. Cutting into the lead in the final laps, but Zach Zeitner holds on to it in the Z76. He'll take the checkered flag in our SS Graphics heat race number 4. The 35 of Robert Osborne second. Nelson Volbrecht finishes 3rd. Kyle Prauner in the 4th spot in the 5K. They go to tonight's H&H Mobile Homes A feature event. Junior Coover in the 10 and the 11 of Brad Vogt. They will be out next in tonight's Printing Plus B main. Row number 2 on the inside, the number 14, that's Chase Osborne from Norfolk, and next to him will be the number 10 of Junior Coover, also of Norfolk. 3rd row, 99, Travis Paulson of Omaha. Inside, outside will be the 26 of Troy Banky out of Ewing, Nebraska. And 4th and final row, the 2X of Joey Haase from Norfolk, scheduled to be on the inside, outside the 11 of Brad Vogt from Pierce. Top 4 transfer as we are set for the green on this one. And we are underway. Engels gets the car extremely sideways there on the start. Everyone hustling on down into turn number 1. On the outside, Engels gets around the outside of the 3 of Tomka, and Engels will lead him down the back straightaway. The 14 of Chase Osborne runs in 3rd. Junior Coover right now in the final transfer spot. Hustling the high side as lap number 1 belongs to the 1 of Ryan Engels. 1 in, 9 to go in tonight's B feature event brought to us by Printing Plus of Beersford, South Dakota. Battle for the transfer spot. Here comes Joey Haase. He's had that car loose all night now. Hooked up on the bottom of the racetrack and well enough to get by the 10 of Junior Coover for the final transfer position. 2 in, 8 to go. Coover going to try to battle back around the outside. No dice off of turn number 2. Gets a good run, though, down the back straightaway. They go side by side once again in turn 3. But the 2X of Haase better off of turn number 4 and continues to pace in that final transfer spot right down there next to the Barry tires on the infield here at the Off Road Speedway. It is Ryan Engels leading this one by 1.2 seconds over Doug Tomka, Chase Osborne, and then Joey Haase in the 4th spot. But here comes Junior Coover. He's got it back as we continue to click the laps on this one. So Junior Coover now hooked up on the high line, put the right rear against the cushion, and he has built the momentum on that high side and is coming after the 3 of Doug Tomka. Tomka in 3rd, but he's going to feel some pressure behind him as Junior Coover would like a little insurance to make sure he makes that H&H Mobile Homes A feature event here tonight. Meanwhile, top 2, they've checked out. That's Ryan Engels and Chase Osborne. They run together down the front straightaway and into turn number 1. Engels your leader, Osborne to the inside, cannot get there, can't make it happen in turn 1. They'll get back in the line, heading into turn number 3. Both go to the top shelf. Oh, Junior Coover in the back straightaway wall. And the caution light's going to come out over the speedway. Coover slowing in turn number 3. As the Flying Wing 10 of Junior Coover got into the back straightaway wall in a big-time fashion. And that spelled A lot of trouble. You can already see from up here, from your seats in the stands, you can see the damage to the right front of the National Auto Sales, Quality Siding and Roofing, TWD Lock, Safe and Key, Norfolk Transmission, Flying Wing 10. SS Graphics, B-Main. Ryan Engels is your race leader. Chase Osborne in second. Doug Tomko restarts third. And the final transfer spot belongs to Joey Haase in the 2X. We come to the green. Haase immediately going to work to the inside of the number 3 of Tomka, looking for that insurance spot. Can't quite get there. Tomka continues to run P3. Top 2 cars immediately breaking out once again as we will come to the white flag. Final circuit begins right now for Ryan Engels, your race leader in the one ride. Engels, Osborne, backstretch for the final time. Does Osborne have anything for him? He'll sail it into the corner. Going to try to get the run down the hill. Cannot get there. Ryan Engels going to pick up the win. So checkered flag waves on tonight's SS Graphics B-Main event for the RepairableVehicles.com Tri-State Late Models, and Ryan Engels will punch his ticket to the main event. Chase Osborne in the 14 finishes in second, Doug Tomka third, and the 2X of Joey Haase. Good to see that driver make the show. He had struggled earlier in the night. They've got the handling under that 2X machine, and he will make the dance here at Off Road. Brad Vogt was 5th. Junior, or the 26th of Troy Benke is going to get credited with the 6th spot, and Junior Coover 7th. Travis Paulson did not make the call for tonight's B-Main after all of that smoke in his qualifier earlier tonight. Caution lights about to extinguish around the racetrack. Signal at the flag stand. We go green next time off of turn number 4. Your H&H Mobile Homes main event. Nate Byanoff, Tad Pospisil, Zach Zeitner, Gary Brown Jr., Blair Nordorf, Robert Osborne, Ben Sukup, Justin Zeitner, Chris Johnson, Chad Olson in the top 10 starting spots. 30 times around Off Road Speedway. This is your main event for the night, the first appearance of the RepairableVehicles.com Tri-State Late Models here in Norfolk, Nebraska, and it is time to get it on. They'll thunder on down into turn number 1. Byanoff and Pospisil side by side for the race lead. Pospisil advantage down the back straightaway. He will lead into turn number 3 for the first time. Pospisil on the top, Byanoff on the bottom. 3 wide for the 3rd spot. Behind them, a pair of 76s and the 22 of Brown. That, of course, is Zeitner, Nordorf, and Brown battling 3 wide. Brown with the advantage coming around the outside, and he'll run up to the 3rd spot in that 22 machine. Your race leader, though, the 04 of Tad Pospisil. He starts to pull away from the 2nd place running Nate Byanoff. 0.8 of a second is the distance. 2 laps in, 28 laps to go. Battle for the 4th position. Blair Nordorf on the bottom. The Z76 of Zach Zeitner on the top. Nordorf slide job off of turn number 4. Zeitner crosses him over, and here comes the number 35 of Robert Osborne into that mix as well. April racetracks are the most difficult racetracks you will have to prepare all year long, and right now they have hit a home run here at the Off Road Speedway. We have 2 and 3 wide racing through the field. Here comes Brown to the bottom of Nate Byanoff. Nick celebrating a birthday tonight. His brother Nate running in the 2nd spot in that 51, coming after the 04 Pospisil, who will lead this time by. 5 laps in of this 30-lapper, still side by side for the 4th spot. Zeitner to the bottom, Nordorf on the top. That's happening just in front of the 62 of Justin Zeitner, who is trying to inch his way into the top 5. He'll meet cousin Zach up there on the high line off of turn number 3 and now off of turn 4. The lead for Tad Pospisil, 1.1 seconds over Nate Byanoff. Slide job from the 62 of Justin Zeitner. He took the 5th spot momentarily from Zach Zeitner. Zeitner, as in Zach, back into that spot, and they got to turn number 3. We'll watch for the haymaker as they go back to turn number 1. It will not quite work out this time. The same for the 62 of Justin Zeitner. He'll run in position number 6. For 7th, they were 3 wide coming off of turn number 2. That's the 7J of Chris Johnson, the 07 of Ben Sukup, and the 10C of Chad Olson in that mix. So racing through the field as the leaders are about a straight away from entering lap traffic. We're yet to get to the 1/3 mark in this H&H Mobile Home Service A feature event for the RepairableVehicles.com Tri-State Late Models. Hard to tell if there's any rubber coming in on the racetrack. If the drivers start seeing some different grooves, that'll be our indication that maybe a little bit of rubber coming in on the racetrack, because the driver's moving down a bit in turns 3 and 4. One car just went off the speedway in turn 1, calling it a night. Side by side for third, here comes the 62 of Justin Zeitner. He is hooked up. He just went by the 22 of Gary Brown Jr. And coming into that mix as well as Chris Johnson, the 7J machine, getting by Brown. And into the top 5 goes the car that picked up the win here on April 10th. Just different driver. Devin Johnson was behind the wheel here for the IMCA Weekly Racing Series when that machine took the checkered flag. So it is Tad Pospisil over Nate Bienhoff, Justin Zeitner, Chris Johnson, Gary Brown Jr., your top 5 right now. 12 laps in. Lap traffic looms for your race leaders, and right now Nate Bienhoff is closing in on your race leader. It was half a second last time by the stripe. This time by the line, it remains right at a half second. Justin Zeitner in third, Chris Johnson, Gary Brown Jr. complete that top 5. Behind Brown, it's a battle side by side for 6th. The 76 of Blair Nordorf still ripping the top side with the Z76 of Zach Zeitner on the bottom of the speedway. Brown uses a different line. He's right in the middle. Lap traffic now officially in play here on lap number 14. 04 Pospisil, he will work to the bottom of the 1 of Ryan Ingalls and put him off the lead lap. They are side by side racing for position just in front of your race leader. That's the 3 of Doug Tomka and the 71 of Mike Benson. They race for position. All that the drivers are asked to do is hold your line. If you're racing for position, you don't have to let the leaders go. Right now, though, Pospisil works to the inside of Benson. That could be a big move if he can clear him before they both catch that 3 of Doug Tomka once again. Bienhoff trails by 0.8 of a second as they head back to turn number 3. The drivers who are really closing in run 3rd and 4th, and that's Justin Zeitner and Chris Johnson. Nate Bienhoff again closing in here in traffic as Ingalls goes to the top shelf there, trying to get around the 71 of Benson. That is a battle of lap cars, which is going on right in front of the 62 of Justin Zeitner, who runs in position number 3. Pospisil having to go to the top of the speedway to work to the outside of the 3 of Tomka. Cannot clear him as they come off turn number 2. They'll race back to turn number 3. Pospisil would have some clean air in front of him. Once he clears this 3 of Tomka, cannot quite do it yet. Looks like he will do it down here in turn number 1. And then Nate Bienhoff's going to have to start negotiating around the 3 of Tomka. As he does that, the 62 of Justin Zeitner closing in once again. About 1/3 of this feature event to go, and it is all Tad Pospisil out front, 10 laps remaining, and he starts to stretch his legs right now out to 1.4 seconds. Battle for the second spot. Here comes Justin Zeitner as he is using lap traffic to his advantage, and the 62 machine takes over position number 2, and coming with him is Chris Johnson, the 7J. They now pressure the 51 of Bienhoff. Bienhoff back to 3rd. In the 7J of Johnson works to the inside of Rowdy as they go back to turn number 3. Gary Brown Jr. completes the top 5 currently once again in that number 22 machine. Zach Zeitner runs in 6. Blair Nordorf, Robert Osborne, Ben Sukup, and Kyle Prauner, the rest of your top 10. Sukup about to make that Pospisil about to get back into lap traffic. He has about 4 car lengths before he encounters the number 14 of Osborne as they head back to turn number 3. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th all bunched up on the racetrack. In fact, right now, Johnson just got into the left rear of Bienhoff over there in turn 3 as they were racing for position. Bienhoff able to continue with that LVO manufacturing number 51, holding down the 3rd spot. In front of Chris Johnson, Gary Brown Jr. closing in on that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place run. The 04 of Pospisil back into lap traffic, but his lead has grown significantly. 3.1 seconds for your race leader as he'll make his way off of turn number 4 down. That's the flag stand, and now 4 laps to go in this H&H Mobile Home Service A feature event. Pospisil, a 6-time winner with the RepairableVehicles.com Tri-State Late Models, looking to start the 2021 campaign very, very strong as he is doing it and putting on a clinic right now with 3 laps to go and a 2.4 second advantage over Justin Zeitner. Traffic still now back into play in front of your race leader as we'll come to 2 laps to go. But the interval is 1.9 seconds and 2 slower cars between your leader, Tad Pospisil, and 2nd place running Justin Zeitner. Off of turn number 4, white flag flies for the Signor Trucking SS Graphics Window World. Car number 04, Pospisil, negotiating the track for one last time. Down the back straightaway into turn 3. Dominating performance here tonight. Tad Pospisil gets his 7th career win with the RepairableVehicles.com Tri-State Late Models. Checkered flag flies here tonight. The Olson Custom Farms checkered flag waves, and it is all the 04 of Tad Pospisil, your winner here tonight. Grayson Pospisil, head on down to the flag stand. Grayson, you are the junior trophy presenter on this one, as Tad Pospisil leads all 30 laps to collect the $1,500 payday here at the Clash for the RepairableVehicles.com Tri-State Late Models. The 62 of Justin Zeitner finishes second. He started 8th on the grid. The 51 of Nate Bienhoff was third. Chris Johnson 4th in the 7J, and Gary Brown Jr. 5th in 22. Zach Zeitner 6th in the Z76. 76, Blair Nordorf finishes 7th. Robert Osborne 8th in the 35. Ben Sukup 9th in the 07. And Kyle Proner completing your top 10 in tonight's unofficial finish. Nelson Volbrecht 11th. Jim Johnson 12th. Joey Haase 13th. Chad Olson 14th and 15th tonight to Brad Vogt. Chase Osborne 16th. Doug Tomka 17th. Eric Van Osdal 18th. Mike Benson 19th. And Ryan Engels 20th. Lane Brendan 21st. This will be career win number 7 for this driver down there in Victory Lane. That is a driver very familiar to you folks here at the Off Road Speedway, as Tad Pospisil picks up the victory here.